RDTDaily.com presents a Tarabuster with comedian Tara Devlin.
Okie dokie, we're back. What's up, guys? Hello. Nice to see you. This is Tara Devlin. Unapologetic liberal talk on the right side of history, decency, dignity, democracy, humanity, and not afraid to talk about it. That's not embarrassed about it either. I don't know. Unapologetic liberal talk. We should be on the right side of history, right? And that's kind of what we're going to talk about tonight, too. How Republicans want to drag us back. And I really like that the VP, Kamala Harris's, I think, unofficial campaign slogan is, "We're not going back. We will not go back." And it feels good, frankly, because for a minute there, I thought we might be going back. And I might be going the fuck, I don't know where, to Ireland, perhaps, to sit on a cliff, if I can't talk, and contemplate how it all went wrong. All right, nice to see everybody in the chat. If you feel like hanging out with the greatest patriots in American history, come on over to youtube.com/C for channel/Tarabuster. And okay, Play Dave, keep your eyes on the road there. Thank you for showing up. We need you, don't get into a wreck trying to chat or anything. Keep your eyes on the road, Play Dave. Nice to see you. Thank you for being here. And thank you, Jim, of course, for your super chat, as always, right out of the gate. And also for being a moderator in the chat room. That means everything. It keeps everybody in line. And we don't need any maggots. We get them now and then. They come into the friggin' chat room and say nothing like, they'll call me names. That's all they have, are name calling. They don't have anything intelligent to say. As we have the receipts, we can talk about that too. So thank you, and nice to see you, Twisted Nerves Painting, who also has a platform, or has a channel where he paints and does amazing artwork and whatnot. So check it out and subscribe. And also Trucker John. There's Trucker John in the chat room, who has his own show, another liberal talk show. If you haven't subscribed, what the hell is wrong with you? Do it now. Same thing with Twisted Nerves Painting. We're all in this together. So thank you guys for supporting this show. And thank you, patrons. If you can, become a patron at patreon.com/Tara Devlin. I will keep complaining about losing patrons. Well, losing a sponsor, I should say. That was kind of the old standby, but they stood by and stood off into the fucking sunset. Okay, so what at this critical moment, too. I don't know. It's kind of pissing me off. Okay. I'm allowed to share, right? I'm allowed to talk about my feelings. Increase the gain on your mic. Oh, Jesus Christ. Let me see. Thank you for that. See, this is the thing. I need my producers out there. How's that sound better? I just pumped it all the way up. God damn it. 1 2 3 1 2 3 testing 1 2 1 2. Bum bum bee doo boop. All right, I'm gonna have to take your word for it. It's a delay. There's a goddamn delay. All right, better? Good, better. All right, thank you guys. Yeah, see, I can't do this alone. This is the problem. I wish I knew how to set this up properly. I'm sure there's a way to do that, but I don't know. Because I'm hearing myself fine. I don't hear the output. That's probably what a producer would hear, who isn't a cat, right? So, all right. Whatever. It doesn't have to be perfect. This is what I always say. We do it anyway. Doesn't have to be perfect. You just do it anyway, because we're up against the big billionaire benefactors. And I mean, I got some stories for you tonight. Let's see. Where do we even begin? I was going to talk about JD Vance. Excuse me. he's a very sick man. They all are. They're sick, you see, and I hate to say it, but they prove me right all the time. I should say correct, not right. I wouldn't want to be right. Ugh. Because there's something wrong with the right wingers, and all right, okay, we got the receipts to prove that too. Because hence, by example, the way that they behave when they find this channel and they jump in and they start doing nothing but blasting names at people. Like that's what you do with your time. You go to a podcast and call people names. Like, who would do that? Why would any of you guys? Of course you wouldn't, because you got better things to do with your time. And what does it serve? Especially, it's very sad too when you think about it. And you go on to this whole window to the entire world, and that's what you contribute. There's no excuse for these maggots to be as mal-informed as they are, but they live in their bubbles. And that's the difference between the patriots, normal people, progressives, Democrats, liberals, and the maggots, right? It's because if all of a sudden, if we've learned new information that, let's say, funneling all the money to the hands of the greedy rich would actually trickle down and create a economically vibrant, upwardly mobile working class majority, then we would be all for it. Liberals would be all for it. That seems normal. But the problem is with Republicans, they're not sincere partners in governance, in democratic government, small d. They're agents of autocracy, as they've always been this, and it hasn't started with Trump. Trump is just the symptom of this. They have always been the agents of autocracy and oppression. They've never ever done anything to enhance or increase the power of working people. In fact, just look at the way that they treat unions. Unions are democracy in the workplace. And of course, because they loathe democracy and they just want to be able to ride average people to the bank unfettered by pesky government. So they do whatever they can to decrease the little guy's power to do anything about the oppression and the injustice of living in the United States of serfs and lords, right? I mean, the first thing that Hitler did, one of the first things, after attacking trans people and murdering the disabled, which is something that Trump was openly pondering. I guess we can start there. We talked about this with Robin, but they're all they just can't help it. They just can't help it. Trying to drag us back. But the way I feel about it too is like, you go back to the dark ages, right? You want to live with your 19 kids and counting? You want a side hug or not kiss until your wedding day, whatever you do on 19 kids and counting. The liberals don't go jumping in there and say, you must hug people straight on. Like, enough of this side hugging bullshit. Or you must, we don't tell people to how to run their lives, but they certainly want to run our lives, and they're really triggered about people who aren't them. Listening to JD Vance, I mean, is anybody tired yet of him going on about people's biological clocks? Like, shut up. What are you? And this guy is supposed to be one of their intellectuals. It doesn't sound like somebody who's got too many sharp knives in the drawer. He sounds like somebody with issues. Like one of these. I mean, there's some real sick issues, and he needs therapy. I mean, if that's your obsession, everybody who's a cat lady, childless, biological clock, they're so miserable because their biological clocks are ticking. Like, fuck you. Really. Stop projecting your misery. I mean, no, I don't hear anybody talking about biological clocks more than that fucking asshole. Which is really kind of pathetic, don't you think? It's like, fuck it, just work on your own life. Worry about your own life. Why are you so bothered by the way other people choose to live? And the fact is, you know, Republicans, you want to talk about biological clocks. Wait, hold on a second. This is Tara Devlin. Be right back. I mean, the fact is, just like with abortion, as we talk about it all the time. I wish the Democrats in the halls of power would get the message that the abortion rate does not go down when you criminalize abortion. All you do is kill women. And in fact, at this moment, this is something that VP Harris needs to run with. And I'm surprised I haven't heard her say it yet. But the abortion rate in the country and in the places where it's criminalized has gone up. Of course, as I predicted, as we talked about, everything that Republicans touch, they destroy. They're not actually trying to, help babies? They don't give a shit about babies. Babies, toddlers, prepubescents, pubescents, adolescents, preteen, teenagers, young adults, friggin' middle-aged, adults, middle-aged, elder. They don't give a shit. Octogenarian, they don't care at what stage of life you're at. And frankly, they don't give a shit about fetuses either, as we know, because that's just a freaking performance too. They don't care about fetus, because if they did, we would have universal health care in this country. We would have prenatal health care. Everything would be free as a right of citizenship. And then, of course, Republicans say, well, nothing is free. Somebody who's going to pay? We pay. You pay your taxes as part of the taxes, you know, the admission price to civilization. And you get the benefits of being able to go to a fucking doctor when you're sick. Just like the rest of the world does it, right? What the fuck is wrong here? One of the things that gets on my nerves about Joe Biden, because he always says, there's nothing we can't do. But we can't seem to do that, right? We can only talk about affordable health care. If I hear affordable health care, again, please. People don't go to the doctor because they wonder if they can afford it. Deductibles, in networks, out of networks. It's fucking bullshit. And even the doctors don't want to deal with this bullshit. They just want to, if you get into medicine because you want to get rich, then, you know, whatever. Good luck to you. You could go and be a fucking plastic surgeon or something. I mean, in other countries where they have universal health care, you can also buy private insurance on top of that, right? It's the truth. So, you know, but you just can't get super rich like the fucking CEO of United Healthcare, who left that disgusting company, that racket, really, that never does a damn thing for anybody except deny them care. It left that with a $1.6 billion golden parachute. And I don't know, who needs $1.6 billion? One fucking person. Now that is sick. That's a very sick society there. And billionaires are a symptom of the sick society, just like Trump is a symptom of the sick political system that we're in, and this very sick Republican Party. Now, say all you want about the Democrats, that con man would never, ever rise to be the standard bearer of the Democratic Party. That is the truth. The minute he came down the escalator calling Mexicans rapists, that would have been the end of him. much to the credit of those who recognize a con man when they see one, and aren't going to fall for the oldest shtick in the book, divide and conquer, which is so fascinating to me too, because the effing maggots and these Republicans, they're so they seem to be so attuned to all the conspiracies happening everywhere. Everybody's really trying to do, I don't know what, George Soros, what is he doing? Everybody has a conspiracy, but they don't see the conspiracy that is as old as recorded history. Make the rich richer. That's it. Keep the people divided, especially along racial lines, and the rest, is history. The rich will steal. They'll pick your pocket and just throw the assholes a bone. And what is that bone? It's like, here, it's a scapegoat who they could focus their hate on, rather than focus it where it belongs. That the people who are pulling their strings, really tickling their very pronounced racist funny bones. So yeah, I mean, I wish that they would be so astute when it comes to look the actual conspiracies going on. And the other thing, speaking of George Soros, this is something that I ponder on occasion, and I've never had an answer yet with the maggots, especially, and the Republicans. But they, I think I was telling you guys about my friend who's a right-winger who listens to right-wing radio and really needs to stop doing that. And has been adversely affected by the lies, and he spews these lies. He actually said something about how Zelensky, don't you think it's weird that a former comedian gets elected, elected, quote unquote, scare quotes, and the first thing he does is invade Russia? This is what he said. You have that exactly wrong. I'm like, where are you getting your fucking information? Because that is not what happened. It's incredible. But of course, he was also repeating the Kremlin talking points that are not so coincidentally also being repeated in the halls of Congress. Not just in the halls, in the well of the House. They're taking they're taking Kremlin talking points. It's absolutely disgusting. But hold on a second. So he was saying something too. My friend pointed out, or whatever, not pointing anything out. He was just spewing bullshit. He said something about George Soros, in this mix of all of the conspiracies. We've all heard them, and I thought, to what end? What is the end game for George Soros? Do they ever ask themselves this? Like, what does George Soros get out of electing Democrats? What's the end game for him? Because if he gets his way and Democrats get elected, and I don't know what else, right? I mean, they're always like George Soros this, George Soros that. He's some kind of, he's a ubiquitous, he's sort of like he's a supervillain to them. It's incredible. But if he gets his way, his taxes go up, his businesses are heavily regulated. What's the what am I missing here, right? What's the payoff for him? Conversely, with the Kochs, the Mercers, and all these other scumbags that have more money than, half the American, like 5 people in the Mercer family have more money than 50% of the American people. And, and it goes on, of course. But if they get their way, we have a kiss-up, kick-down autocracy. They pay zero, low to no taxes, and get to ride us all to the bank. right? So what's the real conspiracy here? Right? I mean, don't these people, this is the other question, don't they ever get tired of being played? These average Joe maggots. Is that all it takes? Is hate and is racism that intoxicating to these fools? It's really shocking to me how little they think of themselves, how easily bought they are. They just sell out the whole fucking country, and they sell out their kids, the future, their granny. They sell out each other, their fellow Americans. It's very sad. All right, where am I? Where do I begin? Let's begin here with. I think we were mentioning this. Did we talk about this? Oh, yeah, we were talking about this with Trucker John yesterday. I guess we don't have to repeat it, but just because I brought it up, about how Traitor Trump is a disgusting Nazi, right? And in every Republican chest beats the heart of fascism. But how do these people justify voting for someone who is in his core a Nazi? Okay, and what I'm talking about is this book with Traitor Trump's nephew. A book is coming out. I'm sure you've heard about it, but they won't be talking about this on fake Fox News. And wait, hold on. Let me see. Kevin, is his name Kevin? Yeah, Kevin Trump. No, Fred Trump Jr., right? Fred Trump. Yeah. So, Fred Trump, the third, not Junior. Yes. According to recent reports, Donald Trump allegedly made shocking comments to his nephew. So about his nephew Fred Trump Jr. Why do I keep saying that? I'm thinking of Tara Jr. Fred Trump III, about letting his disabled son die. How disgusting. Fred C. Trump III recounts these incidents in his upcoming memoir, All in the Family, The Trumps, How We Got to Be This Way, set to be published in July. We talked about this a little bit, but there's a couple of more things we didn't really get into. But in one instance, after a White House meeting with disability advocates during the COVID-19 pandemic, Donald Trump reportedly pulled his nephew aside and said, maybe these kinds of people should just die. Unbelievable. Citing, look at the shape they're in and all the expense, because that's all that matters to the filthy maggots. Maybe they should just die. And we were talking about this on, I was talking with Robin Kincaid about this when we filled in for Mike Malloy, and thinking about, yet again, another example about how these maggots are so outside the human condition. They're not human. That's why I say we're on the right side of humanity, because there's something wrong with them. I'm not saying they're all sociopaths. That's impossible. But having a standard bearer who is a sociopath, a psychopath, a narcissist in the very least, a malignant narcissist who doesn't give a shit about anybody but himself. And that is evident. That's why he's running to be the president, the so-called president. That's why he's running. He's running to escape the consequences for his life of crime, not because he wants to make America great again. He hates America. He never misses the opportunity to tell us. It's a rat's nest. It's a third world country. He never stops telling us how it sucks. How dare these people? They make it suck. It could, you know how much better this country could be? How much of a more perfect union this country could be without these right-wing albatrosses around our national neck pulling us back every time we try to make a leap forward, every time we try to be decent, expand the franchise of democracy, leave no one behind. That's when they can't stomach it. It's too much. Too much democracy. Well, there goes the fucking asshole with the goddamn fireworks. I don't know if you can hear that. Bing! Boom, boom, boom! Shut up! Boom, boom! Whee! Boom, boom! Fuck off. Get a real hobby. He's got to be a maggot. Right? All right. Let me see. In another conversation, one discussing the family's medical fund for William's care, because here in the United States of serfs and lords, that's what you need. You need a GoFundMe. You need to call up your relatives. You need to beg people on the side of the internet superhighway with a sign. Help me. And hopefully, in the middle of taking your disabled son to his medical appointments and trying to, get a good night's sleep for once in a blue moon, from all the stress and round-the-clock care, that, hopefully maybe you can make a very, you'll make a video that will go viral. And then you'll get a lot of donations. And that's how you have to do when you're changing your disabled son's feeding tube and shit goes everywhere. You got to get that on video. You got to make sure you got your body camera on, so you're capturing all the fun of being a caregiver to a disabled child, and hopefully you'll get all the stress, the tears, everything that might pull some heartstrings, because you're going to have to break out amongst all the other the other videos that need to go viral too. The cancer treatments, the diabetes treatments, you got to help. People are out there vying for the top spot. They need to. There's only a few limited amount of average Joes that can give money. You got to really stand out in the crowd. You got to go for the real tear jerkers. When you got to be an editor, maybe get some good, nice graphics in there. And when you get your video nice and tight, maybe do a couple of social media cut downs, some for TikTok, Instagram. Because this is what you got to deal with in the United States. Hoping that you can afford the medical expenses for your children. Or if you have you have an uncle, what you think is a rich uncle, but he's a disgusting waste of human DNA, but you give it a shot anyway. And you say, "Hey, Unc, you're the so-called president despite receiving fewer votes. Can you help me out here? My kid here, your nephew, too, I guess. I don't know what that is. Nephew, is that the twice removed? I don't even know how it goes. What's your nephew's nephew? I mean, your nephew's son is called. I have no idea. He's still your relative. When you would think, oh, okay, sure, I'm the so-called president despite receiving fewer votes. Here's my nephew with a disabled child. I'm here in the Oval Office because I care about people. And when your nephew comes asking for money to help with care for your disabled child relative, most people would say, sure, how much you need? I'm a so-called billionaire. I had to pay off a porn star in installments. I gave the porn star $125,000 in installment 3 times. I could certainly give my nephew some money to help my other whatever he is, my nephew twice removed. I don't fucking know. I don't even know. All my nephews, all my cousins, children and nephews and all that, they all call me aunt. So what do I know? I have nephews, I have nieces and whatnot, but I also have, by extension, I don't know, but they all call me Aunt Tara. Who knows? You know what I'm saying. So, but when he asked Traitor Trump, can you help with this medical fund? Can you contribute? Where we have this medical fund for William's care. Trump responded, he doesn't recognize you. Maybe you should just let him die and move to Florida. You fucking believe that? It's almost beyond reason how anybody would hate themselves enough to vote for somebody like that. It's beyond reason that, if you hate America, I mean, I could see Putin. If Putin had his say, of course he wants somebody like that squatting in the White House despite receiving fewer votes, because he hates America. So, but you do too. You put somebody like that, and they love this fucking guy. They say he's touched by God. He's just like God too. God is wants him to be president. That's what's so funny about these maggots. All throughout my entire life, having to deal with them. Before they were maggots, they were teabaggers and all their iteration. They keep getting progressively worse, though, unfortunately. But, I just wonder about where is their humanity? What do you love about this country? What do you love about America? Because they seem to act in ways that are antithetical to love. If you love your country, if you love anything, like you love your house or whatever, you go on vacation, you put somebody that hates your house, you ask them to watch your house for you or whatever, right? Like my cats, if I go away, I leave somebody who loves animals to take care of them. I don't put somebody that hates animals. I wouldn't put JD Vance or ask him or anybody like him. And how do you put such a scumbag in any way in a position of power? A scumbag that has that's proven himself. And I hate to denigrate scumbags, really, because scumbags have a utilitarian purpose, right? You need to put your scum somewhere. Uh-oh, your internet is flunky, Kathy. No! All right. Well, so anyway, the other thing, talking about, this poor child, this disabled child, trying to get help, the family trying to rustle up the funds to what a sick country that is, right? Where you have to beg for medical care for a disabled child. This is the kind of country that JD Vance and the maggots want to convince us they're all about the children, right? The same people who wouldn't extend the hot lunch program for children during the summer, so hungry children could eat even though the school wasn't in session. It was what skin off their ass was it to do that? But they said no. Because why? Because they love Jesus so much? Because Jesus said, suffer the little children to come unto me, right? To what you do to the least of me, you've done for me, right? There's no compassion, no consideration. But these people denigrate. They hate the poor. They hate those who are struggling. And the fact is, this country has been so decimated by Reaganomics that the majority of the American people are living paycheck to paycheck. That's not a functioning, that's not a middle class. That shouldn't be acceptable. But there's only one party that even mentions that and is attempting to do anything about it, despite the Republicon albatrosses around our national neck. And that's the Democratic Party. And they may not be perfect, but they don't have sociopaths leading them. They talk about giving people help, and it's not just talks either. Unlike the Republican Party, where if you witness that RNC Nuremberg rally, funny enough how they all pretend to be such great men and women of the people, right? It's quite telling that their actual policies never take front and center stage, that they all have to mask them. They didn't even mention Project 2025, but that's their blueprint for power. So much so they put it down on paper. That's how emboldened they are. They think, oh, well, get them ready for the takeover. And that's why they're in the Project 2025 blueprint for autocracy. It's a blitzkrieg. It's happening. All of the disgusting policies in there, firing civil servants, doing away with the Department of Education, I have a list here somewhere. We should look it over again, because everybody should know this stuff. But all of it is one of the most nefarious and Nazi-like aspects of it is that it is implemented in 180 days. Oh, the mass deportation. That's something they put, they didn't hide. Isn't that funny? They think mass deportations are appealing. They might appeal to some people, the stupid people, evil, racist dumbasses. Because trust me, hopefully it won't happen. But if, God forbid, it happens that these scumbags steal the election somehow and implement mass deportation, trust me, the maggots will be whining too. No, oh wait, not me, not my uncle, cousin, friend, husband, wife, blah, 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 blah. They always think the sting of the lash, the consequences of their policies won't ever affect them. What do you mean, me? Not me. I always remember, when Traitor Trump got in office, he started deporting people. And there was an article in the New York Times about this pillar of the community, this guy but he happened to have been here illegally for the past 30 years or something. And he had a business. I don't know how he did it, really. He had a family, children, a business that employed a lot of people. And here comes ICE, and he got deported. And they were all in shock, because this was a maggot town, and they were like, him? He's the best guy. He's the greatest guy. I love that guy. We didn't mean him. Right, he deported a veteran too, that's right, Fancy on the chat, which is outrageous. Oh, they love veterans, because people wear the uniform for a path to citizenship, unlike Traitor Trump, who never wore the uniform because his feeties hurt, and but he sure likes giving those salutes, right? Sure likes pantomiming the military, unlike, but when his feeties hurt, just like he likes to pantomime being a president. It's a fucking dirtbag. Right? I can't even. Yeah, so, of course, Project 2025 has all these abortion restrictions, asserts that abortion is not health care and seeks to ban the CDC from promoting it as such. How about you fuck you and mind your own business? How's that, Project 2025? Abortion is not health. We keep hearing that. But these people think that the woman, a female body, has the ability to reject a pregnancy or whatever if it's a legitimate rape. It just won't happen. A legitimate rape. These people are very sick, and they're really throwbacks to the times we thought we left in history's trash bin, but here we go again. It never stops, right? That's why we're so exhausted, but we can't stop now. We certainly have momentum, and I really hope in less than 100 days we'll be celebrating a complete rout of this maggot infestation that's totally denigrated this great country. And maybe we will be great again. Right? I mean, it's going to be beautiful to watch a woman of color, a woman with darker pigment, destroy Traitor Trump. Right, exactly. Trucker John on the chat. The body has a way of just shutting that whole thing down. Oh my God. And thinking of abortion and babies, and they're talking about this son of a bitch talking about everybody's biological clock, but this is why Republicans are it's nothing. Then they're hold on. Here comes the music. Hold on. They're completely insincere, because if they were really trying to promote families, not just family values, fuck off, whatever that is. Family values to them, we know, is gay bashing. That's it. But they would promote democratic policies. They would be for universal health care, living wages, unions. They would be for higher education, public higher education, leaving, so young people and anybody who wants an education doesn't automatically become an indentured servant to the banks. I mean, all of this, not only lower the abortion rate, but would certainly promote families. 20% of people, humans, don't have children, reportedly, because they can't afford them in this fucked up country. In other countries, you really want to weep when you see what goes on in other countries, especially the Scandinavian countries, which are the happiest places on earth. Repeatedly, every year, it's not even close. And let me see. I don't know the exact. Let me look it up, because in some countries they give you, of course, maternity leave, paternity leave. You're talking like a year for women. I think 6 months for men, and then they send you a whole care package of baby supplies, and because you're investing in your country. In the future, we are in this together. I don't understand how they don't see that, but I guess that's if everyone is so scary to you. I don't know. I just don't understand it. Because they're like listening to JD Vance. He's always pointing out how people suck. This group sucks. That group sucks. Everybody sucks, but them. And that's why they can't handle the diverse nature of this country. The country is a diverse nation because we're a nation of immigrants. We're not all Native Americans, are we? Everyone came here from somewhere else. Like it or not, maggots, that's who we are. But they can't handle that. let me see. Let me see. Maternity. See, well, we're the only. I know this off the top of my head. We're the only country on. I don't know if it's on Earth. If maybe some real shithole country we're in league with, like to the worst. We're often in league with the very worst countries and the most poorly run and most authoritarian shitholes, like healthcare, as far as the death penalty and things like that. So let me see. Maternity, but what I'm trying to say is we're the only country in the Western democratic world that has no maternity leave. We have no sick leave. We have no vacation time. Other countries have this as a right because they understand, human being, and this is it's not just human beings, need time off. It's about what is the purpose of life? What is the meaning of life? Other countries get this. It's not just to make fucking Elon Musk richer. Make the Mercer family richer. But they want you to think that. They would want you to adopt that as your own ideology, I guess. That, maybe one day I'll be a billionaire too. Yeah, one day maybe you'll pull yourself up by your bootstraps and marry a fake-ass multi-level marketing vitamin scam with a trust fund that he bankrupted 5 times. But I remember having a online argument with a maggot years ago. I always remember he said, "I'm not a billionaire, but I hope to be one day." Fuck you. You're not going to be a billionaire, okay? How you going to be a billionaire? By you driving your Uber? I'm just looking at truck or draw. I'm not putting it down. I'm just saying, there's not enough hours in the day. If you trade your time for a paycheck, you're not going to be a billionaire unless you hit the fucking lottery. And most of these billionaires, they didn't earn it. They inherited it. And the fact that one of the major policies in this Trump tax scam was rolling back the estate tax. Let me look this up, actually. See, the estate tax it was commonly understood to be a patriotic tax that prevented the development of an intergenerational aristocracy. Let me see. The estate. Has that been fully rolled back? Did Republicans eliminate the estate tax? Because this is something that has been on their list for years. They've been salivating about that. And it would drive me insane because because of course, the corporate media, they will never point it out that the estate tax, it's not, the death tax, what a bunch of suckers, these fucking suckers out there cheering, I'm getting rid of the death tax, and then they're like, yay, which the very top, like the 0.1% pay. You don't pay that. You pay it when you're a fucking billionaire trying to pass your ill-gotten gains down to your undeserving heirs. But maggots are going to cheer that because it's just, they're so whipped. They're like whipped dogs who they live on racism. That's it. That's all they care. Is that all? Is that your price? To be able to misgender somebody without anybody saying anything about it, without having anyone having a reaction. Yeah, so let me see. The Republicans have not yet eliminated the estate tax, but they have significantly reduced its impact and continue to push for a complete repeal, which it would be one of the nails in the coffin of a democracy, really. So the law enacted under the Traitor Trump, of course, reduced the reach of the federal estate tax to historic lows. In 2019, only 8 of every 10,000 people left in a state large enough to trigger the tax, which affects estates worth more than 20 million. The current legislative efforts recently, the vast majority of the Senate Republicans introduced a bill, this is recently, to permanently repeal the estate tax. This bill, led by Senator John Thune and supported by 40 Republicans, aims to allow the ultra-rich to transfer their wealth to their heirs completely tax-free. Scum. That's the. Do you see what I'm saying? Every pillar of democracy, everywhere democracy there's a a wall. There's some protections for Did I say protect? Protections for democracy. They whittle away at everything that and anything that will weaken democracy. They just keep whittling away like little maggot termites, little maggot gnats in the body politic. Oh, Jesus Christ. Additionally, House Republicans introduced similar legislation at the same time called the death tax repeal, supported by 162 Republicans. Fucking unreal. So the fact is, well, and then it says, in contrast, progressives like Bernie Sanders introduced legislation to increase the estate tax on the wealthiest Americans, arguing that it is necessary to ensure that the rich pay their fair share. But that in itself is not a persuasive argument, because it has to be explained clearly to the American people, once again, that we can have democracy or we can have concentrated wealth in the hands of a few, but we can't have both, as Justice Louis Brandeis famously said. And the estate tax is a protection. It's a tax that is there to protect democracy from being completely swallowed up by an intergenerational aristocracy, which should not exist in a functioning democracy. You know, there's your meritocracy for these fuckers. But you see, they want to create an American aristocracy. And they're disgusting. But they love America, right? They'll all say how much they love America. Oh, but what was I saying? Let me see. Maternity leave and around the world. America. Let me see. Because whenever I read these things, when I read that happiness ranking every year, I feel so bad for this country. We deserve more, but we will never get there as divided as we are unless we smash Republicans into history's trash bin legally and peacefully. But that's why they divide us. They know this. The more divided this country is, the weaker we are. And if we're these maggots, I wish they would get a clue. You know, stop focusing your energy on, trans people or gay people or Black Lives Matter. Because fucking Black Lives Matter. So, get a clue. Stop being a dupe. If you're racist, turn off that maggot channel. And we also know that they've done studies, well, not very extensive studies, but there were, I think it was, I don't know, some CNN, or they had Republicans who were total maggots turn off Fox News and watch other more liberal, like CNN, which is not, whatever. It's still corporate media. I wish they would watch Tarabuster, right? Don't you think? And Mike Malloy and Trucker John and Robin Kincaid. But, a girl can dream here. But I really wish they would. But when they watched CNN for a week, immediately their views started to change. Because that's how it works. We are a species of storytellers. That's how these people aren't having ideas on their own. It's not coming out of their ass. Well, it may be, but I mean, it's their ass right to their mouths. But it's like my friend. Do you think he would be fucking tweeting these stupid, malinformed Nazi/Putin propaganda memes at me? For what? Where does he get this shit? He gets it from the maggot media, who are lying to them. They're paying the largest fines for lying to their viewers, only because they're being sued for lying. Companies are suing these maggot stations. Like Newsmax, thank God, is being I think, what happens to Newsmax? Did it go bankrupt yet? All these cesspools. So let's see. The U.S. is the only developed country without mandatory paid maternity leave. There you go, JD Vance. Right? Don't cry me a fucking river. Because what they're really talking about is dividing people and controlling people. That's it. Especially women. Controlling women. Because if JD Vance really gave a shit about families or somebody's biological clock running out, or he wants his babies. He wants women in the kitchen. I don't know where he gets these ideas from. He's not that old, but he has these old, stale ideas. These ideas stink because they've been they stenched up the place for too long. And we've moved on, JD. We've all moved on. Why can't you keep up? And, if you really wanted women or wanted to promote family, then fucking do it. Who's stopping you? There's nobody more unqualified to be a president or a vice president or anything. He's not qualified to be a goddamn senator. He's not even qualified to write a good book. His book is a pack of lies, too. But, you could help this country. I mean, all we need are the votes. Out of 193 UN nation member countries, only a handful, including the United... why can't I talk? Let me say this again. Out of 193 United Nations members countries, only a handful, including the United States, do not have a national parental leave law, paid parental leave. The U.S., let's see, that means a lot of moms and dads go back to work much sooner after the birth of a baby than they would like to, because they can't afford to take time off. The U.S. is the only high-income country that doesn't, and as you can tell by the numbers, overwhelmingly the world provides it. The whole world. This is from Jody Heyman, founding director of World Policy Analysis Center at the UCLA, and says the global landscape for paid parental leave looks bright, but the U.S. is far behind. Well, it's a rat's nest, right? They say it's a rat's nest, the United States. It's a shithole. It's a shithole country. It's a third world nation. Except third world nations have maternity leave. And third world nations have universal health care. I hate to tell you. A lot of third world nations have paternity leave. Let's see. Third world nations. I mean, and even that, saying that is a offensive term. Nations have maternity leave and universal health care. I wish I could type faster. Yep. Many developing nations, often referred to as third world countries, do provide a form of maternity leave and universal health care. For example, according to the International Labor Organization, over 120 countries worldwide provide paid maternity leave, including developing nations such as Algeria, Angola, Burkina, Cameroon, Congo, I can't even pronounce this, Cote de la Vote, I don't even know, Mozambique, Nigeria, Senegal, and Uganda. Look at this. Algeria has 14 weeks at 100% pay. Angola, 13 weeks at 100% pay. All of these, 14, 15 weeks, all 100% pay. Uganda is the lowest, 10 weeks at 100%. Unbelievable. Cuba, Rwanda, Thailand, Brazil. Hold on, we'll be right back with the more good news. But this is why I say, guys, they're just so full of shit. I wish they were Christian. I wish they gave a shit about the family. You know? I really do. I wish they cared about babies. I do. You know, and that's the other thing about them that I can't stand, besides everything else, these maggots. Their hypocrisy, and they use this hypocrisy to divide people further. You know, when JD Vance goes on about, women and their wombs and wondering about people's biological clocks and talking about cat ladies and shit, he's not doing it out of actual concern. That he's doing it because he wants people to hate each other. He's telling you there's another group of people to hate, maggots. There's another group to hate and to denigrate and to go on Twitter and call names. Because what else do you got to do with your life? I mean, what sad people they are. Right? And that's the irony, too, because I was just watching this video. Let me see if I can find it. Where this effing JD Vance grifter was going on about how sad women are because their biological clocks are running out. Like, fucking get a grip, honey. Worry about yourself. If you're so worried about people who are sad, go fight for universal health care. Fight for mental health parity, thankfully, fight for universal paid leave. Vacation. No, instead of going on some wanker's podcast, right? Some Nazi incels podcast where they can all sit around and tell everybody how put upon they are by some trans kid that they don't know. And that's all, that's all they are. While we're here, see, this is what is so, the difference between normal people and this iteration of the Republican Party is that, I'm trying. I'm not trying to hurt these fuckers. Neither are you. We're trying to give them, to make sure they have health care, living wages, retirement security. They can go to school and not come out as an indentured servant to the bank. You know, we understand that we're in this together. I want them to be happy. I want them to live the fucking life. Go to church if you want. I don't care. Just leave me alone. I don't want to see your stupid 10 commandments everywhere. Like, I know how to live, asshole. We don't need a stupid 10 commandment from your ancient book of fables. Right? We know. We understand. Yeah, you don't need... well, that's the other thing. They think that if God doesn't tell you, I guess speak for yourself. You don't need God to be a good, decent person. You don't need a man on a cloud. I guess they do, because otherwise they'd be they're worse than they are, I suppose. Not only dragging women to back alleys, God knows what else they would be doing. Here, let me see. I have to play it off of the screen. Where's my eCam? Come on, eCam. Cooperate. Here it is. This is the one. Ugh. This is some maggots podcast. Look at this shit. This is 2 years ago, though. The Hillbilly has a moment, featuring JD Vance. I'm sure they don't have to say, please become a patron. I watch these videos. Sometimes I get very frustrated. Please become a patron at patreon.com/TaraDevlin.
Is they take some...
Okay, here we go.
Actually spent some time in those institutions, who know how they actually operate and can honestly call out their faults and flaws.
We're coming up on the 60th anniversary of the publishing of God and Man at Yale, actually. In fact, I think it's out this week or something like that.
Look at this guy.
You went to Yale Law School. You talked about the corruption in elite culture.
That's
very
weird.
Specifically, what was it you saw there? Because I have a feeling Ohio State was a little bit more of a kind of normal place where normal people go than Yale Law School.
Yeah.
What did you see that so disgusted you?
Yeah, I mean, Ohio
disgusted
State's normal. Certainly when I was there, I think it's probably become less normal because the gender stuff and the critical race stuff continues to infect all of our institutions.
Yeah, and I went to a big state school too.
So
unbelievable. I think that it's worse.
Just... if he's not a poster child about the gender and the critical race stuff, that's what we're looking at. They don't want to be bothered. They don't think about anybody else but themselves. They feel so put upon if anybody dares ask them to see the world for one split second through somebody else's eyes, to instruct them, because they need instructing in these basic human things, to tell them, don't be a dick to people. Be nice. Be respectful. Don't be a bully. Don't be a asshole. Don't try to harm people. Don't mock people. Just be an adult. Grow up. You don't understand. You don't have to understand. It's not your business. You get it? Go pray in your closet like your Jesus told you, and be a decent person. Just shut up. But they can't. I don't understand why they're so triggered by learning about the amazing tapestry of life. Why is that a problem to them? I mean, it's, to me, I feel like, I want to learn about that. Wouldn't you? Wouldn't anybody with any level of intellectual curiosity? There's so many things to learn in this big, beautiful world. There's so many types of people, and why not? I want to learn. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to learn, right? Why are they so shut down about it? And not only they are they don't want to they're so resistant. I mean, to say it mildly, it's not even resistance, it's just hostility towards it. Hostility towards opening their eyes. Maybe you learned something. You might not think or want to be like, wow, I didn't even know I didn't know that. That's what education does. But they don't really think they need it, I guess. It's sort of like Traitor Trump. His uncle was at MIT, so that makes him a fucking doctor too, right? That's not how it works. But I know, like, going to college and whatnot, taking different courses. I never knew. Sometimes I'd be like, oh, wow, I never knew that. It opens your eyes. You see things in a different way. So why are they so hostile to this? It's fascinating. But he's supposed to be an intellectual. He went to Yale, but he's so, I don't want to see any DEI. I'm a white guy. Who cares? What, why is this so offensive to you? You should say, well, wow, maybe I didn't even realize how, the systemic racism plays out. How it's affected our entire country or the history of this nation. Gee, I should work to make it better for everyone. And it's so, if you cared about your country, wouldn't you at least put in the minimal effort it takes to make a more perfect union? Wouldn't you? That means taking a DEI class. What else is college for, JD? Oh, I guess it's only to get a business degree. So you can learn how to be a bit entrepreneur. Or day trade. All these fucking things that do nothing. They don't add to the beauty of life. You're just making more money to shove in that God-sized hole that you'll never fill up. While you're worrying about everybody else. Pointing out everybody else, how everybody else sucks. It's incredible. I don't get it. I just don't get the hostility to wanting to learn about other people. Wanting to learn in general. They're so put upon by it. Hold on. We will be right back. All right, this is Tara Devlin, Unapologetic Liberal Talk. Become a patron, patreon.com/Tara Devlin. I don't know if the memberships are open on the channel. I think they might be. If you can, become a member. All right.
Now than it was when I was there. When I went to Ohio State, I loved it. I mean, here's what I'll say about Yale Law School.
First
of all,
Christ. This is
most
an intellectual.
Of the people are more or less good people, right?
They more or
care
less
about their families. They are not like stabbing you in the back. They're not like ripping pages out of library books so that other people don't get ahead.
What?
But I think they are caught
That's
up
what Republicans
in a rat race that most of them don't realize the time is making them really miserable. And I wonder if they ever figure it out. Like, what elite culture does, what these elite institutions do,
Who's
is
miserable?
They take some very smart people in our society, they filter them into a very small place, and they basically tell them to want the same things: clerkships, law firm jobs, consulting gigs, nice cushy jobs at private equity firms. And they tell them that the only way they're going to be happy is to get those things. And so those people end up focusing on career and on credential at the expense of the things that actually make people happy. And so you have people at Yale Law School, you have women who think that truly the liberationist path is to spend 90 hours a week working in a cubicle at McKinsey instead of starting a family and having children.
Fuck you.
And I think that those people, in their defense, They
in their
genuinely
defense,
believe
isn't
that
he
the path
generous?
of liberation is to work 90 hours in a cubicle at McKinsey.
Yeah, well,
What
I don't feel that we should be working 90 hours. Maybe you should support family leave, vacation time. I mean, these, it doesn't make sense to me. Well, he goes on. I don't want to play the whole thing.
don't realize, and I think some of them do eventually realize it, thank God, is that is actually a path to misery.
How do you fucking know what these people think? What anybody thinks? He's projecting his own misery on everybody else. No one's more miserable than the one who's like, everybody's miserable, that doesn't do what I think they should do. All right. It's pathetic. This is who they want to make the vice president, everybody. They think he's qualified to be VP. Right? No, a nobody who is just a weirdo. Here's from the Politico. Vance appeared on Tucker Carlson's show back in 2021 when he was still a Fox News host. Vance had once opposed Donald Trump, and he transformed into a prominent Trump supporter. Okay, hold on. Boudica is on the prowl. So let me see. He went on to name Kamala Harris and Pete Buttigieg and AOC as his prime example of childless leaders who should be excluded from positions of power. He's very obsessed, but, you know, with Republicans, this is another example of how, just how selfish they are, self-serving, and the center of the universe is a very crowded place filled with Republicans. Have a good night, Fancy. See you later. Everyone's saying good night, Fancy. See you soon, Fancy, on the chat. But Republicans, see, this is just another example of how Republicans don't, you know, they only see the light, let's say, when something affects them directly. So they don't seem to think that anyone who doesn't have children, why would you care about your country if you have no children, or care about the future? Why? Because in Republican world, that doesn't make sense. Because you only care about things unless it affects you. Like, for example, for years, of course, when Republicans were going after gay people constantly for political expediency, you know, for political, it was just a political play. You know, don't give a shit. Like Dick Cheney never cared. Like, not some of them, they don't give a shit. Some of them were gay themselves. They just knew that they had to attack gay people. And, you know, then some gay people would, I mean, some Republicans would be like, well, my son is gay, and so therefore I'm not going to attack the gays like the rest of you. And people are like, oh, yeah, that's true. And I remember a friend of mine who was a Republican saying that, well, Dick Cheney, well, the Bush administration won't do anything to harm gays, even though they're proposing a constitutional amendment to make marriage a only between someone of the two people of the same peepees. They wouldn't really do that because Dick Cheney has a gay daughter. What? Right? So that to them is an excuse. Like, if you have a gay or anything, something affects you. It's like they never understand. It's like they suddenly, they lost their private health insurance, and now they understand why Medicare for all is a good idea. Or, you know, they understand how. I have friends like that too. A very good friend of mine, now another one, now that I'm thinking about this, was a rabid Republican for years, but he had a very good job, at the time, and this was years ago. He was like in the music industry. He was the head of a record label, and an independent record label, not a big record label, but a successful record label, by the way. So, but when records kind of went by the wayside, the record label went away. He struggled, and his tune has changed. Not having health care for a long ass time changed, and thank God for Obamacare. Thank God, right? But it always takes a personal problem for them to kind of see the light. It's absolutely not, I mean, it's ridiculous. It shouldn't have to be that way, but you should be able to put yourself in other people's shoes. I don't have kids. I'm a childless cat lady. I don't care. Whatever. I always knew. I have to tell you, even when I was a kid, I just knew. I never, it's not like I feel like I missed out or anything. I never wanted kids. Never. I just knew it, even when I was a child, that I would never have kids. That's just the way it is sometimes. I never knew I'd be a cat lady. I never knew I had 4 cats and a guinea pig. But, I didn't plan it that way. I don't know. Maybe things would have been different. If I had a partner that had kids or whatever, that's fine. I love my nieces and nephews. Whatever. It doesn't matter, though. Who cares? There are so many families, types of families. In fact, the traditional man, woman, 2.5 kid, that is the minority. But that won't stop the Republicans from attacking others. That's why when they're going after Kamala Harris, they go like he just did, saying that because she doesn't have children. Now, Pete Buttigieg has children. He has adopted children, but I guess that doesn't count either. And AOC, whatever, well, they go after Taylor Swift for not having children. But you see this, it's because they're trying to drag us back to the 50s. Women are not supposed to have power. We're not supposed to have any other ambition but to be a homemaker. Make a wonderful home for your man. That's the way God wants it. That's the way the ancient book of fables want it. That's the way the man on the cloud wants it. Right? What? Oh my God. JD. Thank you, JD, for your very generous donation on the PayPal account. I just say it. I saw your text there in the chat saying, please enjoy the PP. And I said, what? JD, thank you. See, JD's not even in this country, in this American rat's nest, and he's a patron beyond. He's the patron of patrons. Thank you, JD. I might need to. I envy you, really, I do. I feel that's my people. I'm English. I'm Irish. I'm English. That's my people. But I'm here. You're lucky, JD. Your grandmother never came over here, But we will win. We're on the right side of history. We're on the right side of decency, dignity, democracy, humanity. Thank you guys for hanging out. Become a patron, patreon.com/TaraDevlin. We stick together, we win. I'll see you soon. All right. Let me see. What has JD Vance said about working moms? This is from The Cut. What a goofball that guy is, JD Vance. It's very sick, though. He speaks like an incel. I don't understand what's wrong with his wife. What's wrong with the wives of Republicans, by the way? You know, like Ted Cruz's wife, who Donald Trump calls ugly, and then she's cool with her husband, you know, bending the knee to that traitor. Here's JD Vance. This is a clip that the Harris campaign is that put on their Twitter account.
Okay, look, here's the situation. Let's say Roe versus Wade is overruled. Ohio bans.
This was back before, of course.
Abortion. In 2022 or 2000, let's say 2024, and then every day George Soros sends a 747 to Columbus to load up disproportionately black women to get them to go have abortions in California. And of course, the left will celebrate this as a victory for diversity. That's kind of creepy.
Health justice is when we exterminate working class black people.
Exterminate.
Something really, something like that could. I mean, that would be a really weird turn of events that could happen.
Yeah.
Yes,
and it's like, if that happens, do you need some federal response to prevent it from happening? Because it's really creepy. And
that's their
I'm
favorite word.
For that, actually.
What's creepy? Republicans in your doctor's office making policy that sends women to die in back alleys and traumatize families and do nothing about the abortion rate except talk about how women suck.
Okay, look, here's
all right. So basically, that clip is him saying, we need a federal abortion ban. But before we're running out of time, I don't know if you missed this. The Associated Press removed a fact check claiming that JD Vance has not had sex with a couch. I should have brought this up earlier before we lost the Progressive Voices audience. This is where we live, JD, on the chat. Not JD Vance. Oh man, my ass hurts sitting in this chair all day, and my chair keeps moving out. So the fact check refers to a few jokes on social media. Oh wait, excuse me. Let me put the article up. Where is it? I got the wrong one. This is a good time to become a patron. Oh, here it is. It's right there. Or not? What is happening? Let me show the whole screen. Boom. That's what I see. And, it's because it's Safari. That's why. All right. Fact check references a few joke social media posts that have been circulating that claim the Republican vice presidential nominee wrote in his book Hillbilly Elegy about having sex with a couch. One tweet reads, in his dreadful novel Hillbilly Elegy, JD Vance describes having sex with a rubber glove secured between cushions on his couch. Republicans chose him to be one heartbeat away from becoming POTUS. Another post says, can't say for sure, but he might be the first VP pick to have admitted in a New York Times bestseller to fucking an inside-out latex glove shoved between two couch cushions. Hillbilly Elegy, pages 179 to 181. Is that true? Let's look it up. To be clear, Vance did not write in Hillbilly Elegy about having sexual relations with living room furniture. Snopes debunked it or whatever. It remains live about the viral joke. The archived version of AP's fact check notes that there is no such passage in the book.
They not like us. They not like us.
But, it certainly does give Nick Fuentes some ideas, I would imagine. And the incels. It gives the Proud Boys some ideas. I'm sure they got a lot of ideas, though. And that mean, how they really, those assholes really just need the arms of a man around them. Right? Can't you just see that with those proud pricks? And the Patriot Front assholes with the masks. All they really need is for the guy on their left, the guy on their right, whoever, just to turn and face them and hug. Just give them a big, all of them, just a big hug each other. And you could see how they would all melt and start weeping. Because that's what they need. They need the arms of a big, strong man around them. And if they had the courage to be them, to live an authentic life, this world would be a better place. Wouldn't it? If they only got help. Let's see. Yeah, and JD Vance. What else? There's another thing. I'm looking for this other. It's not about JD Vance though. Oh, here it is. This is why I say become a patron. Well, I say it because we need patrons. But another thing, another example of how billionaires should not exist and they have far too much power. So it says outcry. This is from cyberdaily.au, an Australian paper. Outcry after alleged protected list of far-right X users is leaked online. X user shared, and Twitter user, shared a screenshot of an alleged set of Okta configurations that appears to depict a list of protected users exempted from the social media platform's terms of service and able to use disturbing terms in a whitelisted in a list of whitelisted slurs. You see? That's Elon Musk. I mean, it didn't take him long to destroy Twitter. But this is what they got. You know, they go on social media and they just pour slurs into the public discourse. Slurs. All kinds of slurs against minority groups and women and all kinds of just, sophomoric, juvenile pejoratives. Attacking liberals. Now, remember, JD Vance, friggin' Elon Musk is a filthy fascist. He's not a billion. I mean, he's not a genius. It's incredibly tedious to have to say that again, but not to you guys. But in general, this whole billionaire, mad genius thing that he has going on is a scam, like Traitor Trump's successful businessman persona. That's a scam too. It's all branding. It's media. It's their marketing. No actual genius spends time retweeting anti-Semitic tropes on a social media platform they purchased for far too much money because they wanted to be transphobic. That's why they bought that. That's why that asshole bought Twitter. He got triggered by the fact that they were policing or whatever, or trying to make it a decent place, a town square. Like if you go into your town square, go into your local park or wherever, your public square. Get a soapbox, stand on a soapbox and start screaming the N-word or gay bashing or anti-gay slurs or any slurs of any type. See what happens to you. You'll be arrested for disturbing the peace, that's for sure. Not on Twitter. Not on shitter. So, soon after I'm just going to say Twitter banned that. Let me see. Hold on. Let me roll back. Because I'm leaving out the most important part. The accounts are all far-right accounts and include the Trump War Room, Eric Trump, Libs of TikTok, and outspoken men's rights activist Andrew Tate, who is a human trafficker, of course, and a pedophile. As they all are. They're fucked up people. Men's rights activists. What a waste of life, right? What a waste. Why don't you go feed the birds in the park or something? Do something productive with your life. So gross. So the new Twitter API leak reveals that there's a group of protected users that are allowed to break terms of service without consequence, said Twitter user, Anti-Fascist Turtle. Included in the post is a screenshot of the list. And it even including a white list of slurs. Soon after, guess what? Elon Musk's Twitter banned. Oh shit! What is playing in my hair? I mean, my head. Son of a bitch! There's an ad playing. Why? I don't know if you can hear that. Suddenly, I hate when that happens. What? And now I have 20 windows open. So I don't know how to shut it down. Shut it down like a legitimate rape. I feel like I was legitimately assaulted and I have to shut that down. Let me see. So the whitelisted slur. Soon after, guess what? Elon Musk's sewer banned the account for posting the so-called, whitelisted list of accounts that could say whatever the hell they want and supposedly violating terms of service. But Musk banned the account that exposed him and supposedly for violating the terms of service. You see, we're in the funhouse mirror now. We're in the funhouse mirror part of politics. That's why it's so exhausting. This was shared privately and internally with a group said on... Wait. The group said on his account... What's up, Buddha? We briefly discussed it, but removed the tweet as we intend to do more research. We could not independently validate it. We've got a leaker. According to another post, UX Underground was sent a direct message from a throwaway account that shared the link and its screenshot with the group. The group then decided to pass the information on to people who are better fitted to investigate. Okay, I'm just trying to get to the meat of the matter here. Several users said that they were leery of the list authenticity, but who knows? I guess we'll take it with a grain of salt. Like we will take Elon Musk. He likes to use his children as props. And there's a lot of, in fact, apparently his wife is sick of him grabbing his son. He has no connection, probably. He's a sociopath, like Traitor Trump. And he likes to get his son and take pictures like he's such a good dad and all. But according to, he's got an estranged daughter. His daughter is trans. It's very... These people, that's why I say go to therapy. Get a goddamn therapist. Elon Musk. That's why he's so anti-trans. It's so, imagine being this person's child. This guy is a billionaire and you're their child and you want nothing to do with them, right? You want nothing to do with your sick father who damaged you so completely that you want nothing to do with him. And he's all over his fake social media account. Well, not fake, but his social media platform that he bought because he wanted to see more trans bashing. Could you imagine? It's incredible. This is, I mean, I wish they would just, focus on the family, right? That's one of their group. Focus on the family. Why don't you focus on the family and advocate for family leave, health care, right? Decent thing. Instead, we get nothing but division, hatred, and always targeting minority groups, name calling and owning and triggering. Incredible. But these are the same people that are like, the same people that would say, oh, the men who stormed the beaches of Normandy. Right? Well, why did they storm the beaches of Normandy? We're just asking you to be a decent person and stop attacking your fellow Americans for every fucking thing, for every little fissure of difference, every little difference without a distinction, right? Or what's the other way around? Distinction without a difference. So, Vivian Jenna Wilson, Elon Musk's estranged daughter, publicly refuted several recent anti-trans statements her Tesla CEO and owner of Twitter father made about her. Wilson, who is transgender, on Thursday called Musk's story about her entirely fake. So Musk posted on his Twitter account that Wilson was born gay and slightly autistic, and added that as a child she would pick out clothes for me to wear like a jacket and tell me it was fabulous. In her response on Threads, Wilson, who is 20, called the depiction completely untrue, an untrue gay stereotype, of course. I never picked out jackets for him to wear, and I was most certainly not calling them fabulous, because literally, what the fuck, I did not use the word fabulous when I was 4, because once again, I would like to reiterate, I was 4. Exactly. It's such ridiculous. Like, they're such a cartoon of reality where these people live. It's an exaggeration. Like Trump, he's the same. Mad Dog, General Mad Dog Mattis, and, Putin right out of Central Casting. And yes, of course, Elon Musk has a gay trans daughter that says fabulous. That's what gay people do, right? Like, right, gay when you're gay and you're a toddler, you just say fabulous. You start picking out your daddy's clothes and you say words you don't know. But you know them because you're gay. She added that Musk doesn't know what I was like as a child because he quite simply wasn't there. And in the little time that he was there, I was relentlessly harassed for my femininity and queerness. Who doesn't believe that one, right? That one has the ring of truth, unlike Elon Musk's fucking fake story, which is so offensive. Because of course they rely on stereotypes because they have no other interaction with other people who, I guess, aren't them. That would be too triggering. That would be too woke. So they get their version of reality from, I guess they pull it right out of their ass. In recent years, Musk has become increasingly enthralled with right-wing politics, sharing anti-immigration, anti-DEI, anti-trans posts and ideologies, which is proof right there that he's not a genius. Who does that? What genius does that? No genius. You're not a genius if you're sharing racist posts. He's infamous for retweeting lies right out of the bowels of the Kremlin. Anti-Semitic lies. He is infamous for spreading bullshit conspiracies that anybody with a Google machine could debunk in 20 seconds. But he retweets these things because it confirms and validates his ugly worldview. Oh God, it's unbearable. It's gonna be great to defeat them in November, isn't it? I can't wait. All right, Buddha, what's going on? She's going nuts. She's going nuts. What time is it, by the way? Holy shit. I'm getting stuffed up. I'm stuffy. My nose, I feel like I'm talking nasally at this point. All right, let's do one last story, which is kind of funny. I should have did this earlier. I don't know what's going on with her, but she's running around like a mad woman. She might be Buddha-king my entire department. I mean, apartment at this point. Department. I was going to say the Department of Awesomeness. Okay, so this is something that Republicans do all the time. They pretend, they're really desperate to pretend they're a big tent. What the fuck are you doing, Boudica? Booty. Look at her face. She's going nuts. There's nothing there. I don't know why she just jumped down like that. Okay, so a white MAGA commentator deletes post saying he's a black woman voting for Trump. We've talked about this before, and I'll remind you of another example. So this guy over here, his name is Joey Manarino, U.S. He's a real patriot, USA. Shit, there goes my eCam. What the fuck? There we go. He says, I'm a true black American, and I've been black my whole life. He said on Twitter, broadcast by the account Joey Manarino, U.S., whose profile pic confirms he's a white man and whose biography identifies him as Italian American and populist. I was born black and I will die black, the account wrote. My mommy black, my daddy black. You see, he's trying to act black. That's what he thinks black people talk like. My mommy black. Like they don't. It's like he's speaking the street here. My mommy black, my daddy black. I will never cast a ballot for that Kamala Harris woman as long as I live. Trump all the way, Trump every day. Oh, maggots. Why? Trump? Why? Why do you try so hard to lie? Why do you lie so hard? All you have to do is not be disgusting and racist and hateful, attacking other people or people with darker pigment and diversity, and just don't be, just try not to be as awful as you are. And you won't have to waste time pretending to be black. And how offensive. My mommy black, my daddy black. See? It's like Elon Musk's story about his gay child. Apparently at the age of 4, dressed her daddy up and said, "Fabulous." Two snaps, right? And started to Vogue, probably too, something. whatever else is gay and stereotypical. I was born black and I will die black. Well, clearly what happened here is what happened with the other sucker that we'll talk about in a couple of seconds, that he thought he was using his burner account. He thought he was on his fake account, but he was on his actual account. So Manarino deleted the tweet, but not before people noticed it and screenshotted it. Of course, which is genius. Look, see? Just caught Joey Manarino, U.S., pretending to be a black woman voting for Trump. Please share this far and wide. All MAGA has are lies. It's like Trump with the AI. You know, he can't get actual black people to pose with him. So they just do some AI. Look at this shit. I'm a true black American. And this poor woman here, where did he get her? Just took some random stranger. They wouldn't have to try if they were not as awful. They might attract normal people to vote for them, all kinds of people, if they weren't so racist and filthy and ugly and hateful and divisive and stereotypical, you know, so offensive, spreading their stereotypical lies, so triggered by diversity. These same people, right, that are so put upon ending DEI. That's their thing, you know, not helping helping people, families get living wages, or just have families have maternity leave, paternity leave, so they can have children and bond with their children, and like other countries do, so they can make choices informed by not out of desperation. But Republicans want the American people nice and desperate. That's how they want us. They want us to have no choices. They have put this bullshit out there that government is the problem. Government is us. They like government just fine. They like big fascist Republican government that enriches the rich and ensures that the poor, the working people of this country can do nothing about it, have no options but to go along with it. And don't pester their betters while they're robbing, raping, and stealing and criming like their standard bearer, the con man. Unbelievable. A tweet, let's see, he tried to explain it. A tweet posted earlier from my account. Oh, yeah, right. Right. Oh, he deleted it. Look at that. A tweet posted earlier from my account was the clear result of my account being logged in on a friend's device. Oh, your friend is the black woman. Clearly, I'm not a black woman, unlike the Democrat nominee for president. I don't spend my time pretending to be a black woman. Yeah, she's pretending, but you're on the level, right? See, as these people lie, why don't he just come out and say it? I fucked up. I'm a fucking moron. I'm sorry. I thought I was using my burner account, but he's got to make himself look like more of an asshole. Pretending to be a black woman to garner votes on a false pretense. The lesson here is always log yourself out when borrowing or using a friend's device. Sure, honey. Sure, you're using your friend's device. Wait a minute. That doesn't make any sense either. That she's using your friend. Wouldn't you be using... I don't get it. How is using his friend's device, supposedly the black lady, And he's tweeting as himself? Wait, he's using his friend's device to say, I am a black woman? Right? See, he's not saying my friend was using my device. He's saying, I am not. I don't spend my time in the lesson. Log yourself out when borrowing or using a friend's device. Jesus. On to the next scandal. Yeah, sure, honey. Sure you are. Sure you are. Sure, it's all a big misunderstanding. Like this next one. The next idiot here. This one, Dean Browning. Remember him? This was a couple of years ago during the Traitor Trump time in the squatting in the White House despite receiving fewer votes. Dean Browning is a white political activist. That's why his I am a black gay guy tweet set off an internet mystery. No mystery, it's the same thing. He thought he was using his burner account. Oh, I'm just looking at some of the... Thank you, Jim, for policing the chat. Travis, oh, yeah, see what they're saying? We are going back. Like it or not, lady. Going back where? To the Dark Ages? No, we're not. Sorry. And yet, you liberals keep going backward instead of forward. Sure, honey. Makes perfect sense. Yeah, like I said, if a Republican ever showed up in our little show here and had anything interesting to say, I think I would faint on the spot. Or had anything that made sense. We are going back. And yet you liberals keep going backward. Okay, where? Show us. How? You got... I know you are, but what am I? Well, we've been talking about it all night. How Republicans are dragging us back to the Dark Ages. How hypocritical they are. How much that they talk about these family and babies and all this, and all they are the antithesis. They are the what is the word? The antagonist. That's the word I'm looking for. To babies and families. They're the ones who harm babies and families. We have the receipts. So, how are liberals going back with? But of course, whatever. But thank you for taking care of that, Jim. So let's get back to this guy because we're running out of time. We got 2 minutes. I am a black gay guy, and I can personally say that Obama did nothing for me, says the white guy, Republican operative. He shared it, shared by multiple journalists. Many observers initially suggested Browning had meant to send his message from another account. Of course he did. Browning, a former Lehigh County commissioner and business executive who lost the GOP congressional primary, soon tweeted his explanation. It sounds familiar. I was quoting a message I received earlier this week. Sure you did. Sure you did. Sure. I'm a black gay guy. I'm a black gay guy. Sounds so legit that a black gay guy would reach out to you and say something so, with just such a non sequitur. Hello, Jim Browning or Dan, Dean, whatever the fuck your name is. I'm a black gay guy. Obama did nothing for me. Oh, he did something to me, but maybe nothing for me. Jesus Christ. Save us from these. And it's only going to get worse. Because they got nothing. That's their problem. While they criticize Democrats, their real problem is, it's they got something. And Republicans got nothing. And we won't be going backward. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, maggots. You'll come kicking and screaming. Or move to a desert island. Go pull yourself up by your bootstraps. We will win. We stick together, we win. All right. My name is Tara Devil, and thank you for hanging out. We're on the right side of history, decency, dignity, democracy, humanity. Right, exactly, Jim. So the black friend posted a picture of herself from Google Stock Pics. Yeah, so that's what you do when you borrow somebody's account to tweet something. You write, I'm a black woman and I will always vote for Traitor Trump, and you attach a picture of yourself onto your Twitter account. Always, right? That's what you do. You say, just so you know who I am, here's this picture of me. Even though it's my Twitter account. God, these people. They're not fit. I'm sorry. They're very immature. And they have no business. They are a minority party. In numbers. They represent a minority of people. They receive fewer votes. That's what really pisses me off. I don't want to go on to a whole other tangent, but it's just that these assholes dragging us to times we left in the dark ages, and nobody wants what they're peddling and pushing. You can go fuck off. Like they're stupid, like they're unethical and corrupt Supreme Court dishonorable scumbags who they shoved on there through dirty tricks. And then there's Clarence Thomas, Uncle Clarence, and Uncle, not Uncle, but whatever his name is, Alito. You tell me what Republicans would do if the shoe was on the other foot. Now, and Republicans are trying to stop any ethics reform or term limits, of course. But when you think about it, shouldn't the Supreme Court scumbags, the conservatives, shouldn't they be the ones that are embracing ethics? They should be the ones calling for ethics reform, knowing how disdained, I should say, that this court is by the American people. But they don't care. You see, that's autocracy for you. That's authoritarianism. They don't care what the people think. That's why they shoved their immunity. No one in the country was begging for the president to have immunity for so-called official acts. No one, not from George Washington to today, and then except for Traitor Trump. This is what they have done to this country. For the entire nearly 250-year history of this country, we could say, no one is above the law until Traitor Trump. For the whole history, we could say, we have a tradition, an unbroken tradition of the peaceful transfer of power until Traitor Trump. These people have no business being anywhere near power. They're unfit. They abuse it. If the court had integrity, knowing how the people view them, they don't care. That's why they're that's why they lied about precedent upon precedent upon precedent, and they will do nothing. They fly their flags upside down. How dare you? But what else do you do when you live in a rat's nest, I suppose? And Alito talking about how, that liberals, you can't win. Somebody's going to win. You can't live with them. What the fuck is wrong with these people? Well, someone has to win. Win? Really? What does that mean? Win? Well, I say we will win. I'm talking about we will have a more perfect union. I'm not talking about hurting somebody, making sure they what? Can't. See, if I wanted to be like them, right? I would tell them, fuck you. And your tax exempt churches, or maybe you shouldn't spend time in your church. You should go to do something useful and go and volunteer at the, I don't know, New York Cares or something. It's like this is what they do to us, to normal people. They want to tell people what to do, what to read, what courses they can take in college or college at all. They're not whatever. They're not investing in this country. They want people nice and stupid and malleable, desperate, divided, and at each other's throats. And when I say, I'm not here to hurt these fucking people, like these conservatives. I want them to have health care, living wages. I want them to retire in decency and dignity. I want them to have a vacation now and then, to take some leave, family leave, maternity leave, whatever it might be. That's the kind of world I want, not just for normal people, but for them too. And the thing is, they want that world too. They want it. But they've been bamboozled by the con man and the con that is conservatism and is the Republicon scam, trickle down and everything else that they say, because they always promise them prosperity, and it was all going to be trickling in their mouths soon, right? Given another 40 years. But, on the other hand, conservatives aren't happy unless they're harming their fellow Americans in some form. They hate their fellow Americans. Their fellow Americans are woke. They want DEI. They have Black Lives Matter marches. They want to have gender affirming care. They want to read a book that has gay people in it. That's all they care about. All this bullshit. They want to use a bathroom. What kind of bullshit is this? It's nothing but red meat for the idiots to chew on, while their bosses, while their dear leader is picking their pockets. It's sickening, but making them sick, though. It really has destroyed them, their brain, their serenity, their peace. So that's all they do, they act like assholes. They're fucking just, they don't know how to behave. What they do with turning people against each other. There's no patriotism in that. Not at all. All right. I'm all stuffed up now. I guess I was telling you I wasn't feeling well. But I wasn't feeling well on Wednesday. And I felt sick yesterday, and I went to bed early. But yeah, exactly. Indeed. They make it a zero-sum game. Exactly. It's like you can't be who you are. You can't, they just can't live and let live. Like, who wants to see their fucking 10 Commandments? Like, go away. They're always shoving their shit down people's throats. For people who are always crying about things being shoved down their throats, they certainly do like shoving things down people's throats. Yeah, that's true. Take a COVID test. You're right. Could be. I mean, I have the vaccine and all, but you're right. A lot of people are getting COVID now because of no one's getting vaccinated and whatnot. You're right. It could be. I'm gonna do it. I have plenty of tests. I stocked up. All right, my friends. I gotta go and lay down and go to sleep. Thank you, Jim, for being a moderator and for your super chat. Thank you, patrons. If you can become a patron at patreon.com/TaraDevlin. Thank you, JD. From across the pond, you lucky bastard, for your amazing super chat, which will pay for Hernan's services in August. Thank you so much. You're live on Twitch, Senor Tomaso. I'm seeing some notifications come on. I can only catch your show on Twitch. Says Senor Tomaso, excuse me. Something went wrong with my YouTube, which means I can't chat or comment. That sucks. I hope to see you back in the chat next week, Senor Tomaso. Alright, guys. Thank you again. And, yeah, I gotta, I don't know. We'll have a show during the week, of course. And, yeah, have a good week. Thank you, guys. We will win. Tell your friends. Share the show with your friends. Invite them to our gathering. And become a patron. Become a member. Become a this. Become a that. Support the liberal media. And I will see you. Where's my eCam? Yeah, I am. Can you hear how nasal I am? I can barely talk like a human here. All right, and vote blue. Exactly. Make sure you're registered too, because I know we're from all over the country and world here in the chat, but I have heard, and I'm sure you have as well, Republicans are purging people from the voting rolls. This is what they got. That's all. This is what they do. We know. You got to check. You definitely have to check and make sure you are still registered, because there's time to fix it if they have fucked with you. So, we got to remember. You don't want to show up on election day, or even if you have early voting, to find out that they're going to give you a provisional ballot, which they won't count. And I never understood why that doesn't count. It's so, oh God, there's so many ways they fuck with us. And I'm talking about Republicans. They don't want people to vote. And that's another reason to vote for Harris, because she's talking about we got to pass the John Lewis Voting Rights Act. Should make gerrymandering a thing of the past, and that would be a beautiful thing. For one, that's a step in the right direction. All right, my friends, I gotta lay down. Let me see what Boudica has done. You know, I have to tell you, well, just as an aside with Boudica, she destroyed something in the house here. I have not found it yet, but I found a whole bunch of stuffing. Like, she pulled the stuffing out of something, and I haven't found the thing that she pulled the stuffing out of. That's what a destroyer she is. I don't even know. I'm like, what the fuck now? She is a Boudica. She's Boudica. She's like her namesake. It's like this is Kamala Dunham or something in here. But she's a booty. She's a booty boo. All right, my friends. I will see you during the week. You should probably hit it under something. Exactly. She's she's very lucky. She's cute. All right, guys, I love you. I'll see you during the week. Stay safe.